The entire team at the Emsolation podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and work. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders and ancestors. We acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded and stand in solidarity towards a shared future. I personally want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I record this podcast every week, the Wurundjeri people. I recognise their continued connection to the land and waters of this beautiful place I call home. Always was, always will be.
Em Rusciano.
My precious. That's a Lord of the Rings reference.
And Michael Lucas.
And they're constructive. They're not just like, this bitch crack. It's not that.
This is Emsolation.
I was already quite mad and I walked out of the shop.
It's not like you.
I know, right?
You're in Emsolation.
Well, hello there and welcome to Emsolation. My name is Em Rusciano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen, a podcaster, a neurodivergent magic brain, and together with my best friend since I was 11, screenwriter and podcaster, Logie Award winner and Actor Award winner, Mr. Michael Lucas, I bring you this podcast called Emsolation, in which we discuss the pop culture, the politics, and the penis stories that really lit us up during the week. And today is no exception. We talk about how Lena Dunham declared herself a gay icon on Twitter, to which the queer community had some thoughts. We talk about Billy Eichner blaming the straight community for his most recent film bombing at the box office. There's a slight Bros side quest. We also discuss my encounter with an echidna, which quickly rolled into an in-depth discussion around echidna's wangs, because of course it did. We also go very deep on the new Interview with the Vampire. Anne Rice's novel has been reimagined in a TV series, but it's especially important to us because it stars Sam Reid as Lestat, the role that Tom Cruise played in the movie. But Sam Reid obviously is Michael's leading man, Dale Jennings, in The Newsreader. And to see the transformation from Dale Jennings to Lestat, they are basically the inverse of each other. It's incredible. Sam is doing such an amazing job. So we really delve into that because it is a hot show. Also starring Grey Worm from Game of Thrones. And then Marcella chimes in with, some Twilight facts around how vampires get erections. Oh my goodness, we really did go some places. So there's lots to discuss. Thank you for being here. I hope you're well. I did just want to say, around Interview with the Vampire, how I'm obsessed with how bad the wigs are sometimes when we're at the House of Targaryen on Game of Thrones. I cannot get past the white acrylic nails they're using on the vampires in Interview with the Vampire. And I know they're meant to look like translucent, but it just looks like a bad S&S job to me. I don't know. These are the tiny things that get stuck in my head. That's the only criticism I have. Everything else is perfection. It's beautiful. It's just, I think they need a better manicurist on set. That's my only feedback. They're my only notes. Otherwise, no notes. Next week, we've got a really great episode coming up of Free Time Tuesday. I had a long chat with my mate, Will Anderson. Nothing turns me on more than indiscernible meat, cabbage.
I love the idea that someone down at Chico Roll HQ has just been like, okay, we've invented this mystery package, this thing that is...
We don't know what it is.
Halfway between a pasty and a sausage roll, or like,
and
is it a dim sim, or is it like a spring roll? Is it a giant spring roll? What, exactly what is in... And they've just gone, how can we sell this? Like, what aspect of this do we lean into down at Chico Roll HQ? And they've thought...
Deep fried cock.
It just looks a bit like someone in the office has had to say it first. Like, there's always got to be somebody who's like... Well, it does look a lot like a cock. Should we lean into that? Like, what if...
And everyone's going, yes, I love that. Right. Yes!
So serve it with some meatballs? No, I was thinking we'd actually...
Don't be vulgar, Derek.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't go that far.
What if we put it in the hand of a very beautiful, scantily clad woman? Like, we don't say it's a cock. We don't call it the Coco roll or anything. We're not going to lean into it that much. We're literally just going to, through the power of suggestion, put our cock-shaped treat in the hands of a beautiful, scantily clad women. And hopefully by people just walking into random garages, they're going to get a little bit of free subliminal advertising. And they'll just be like, I just got my oil filter changed and for some reason I'm craving a Chico roll.
Truly long. And I always walk away feeling like I've learned something when I sit down with Will. So you've got that to look forward to next week. But right now it's time for you just to snuggle in, get cozy, get comfy, and let Michael and I, and then eventually Marcella, take you on a journey, a true journey this week. Please enjoy. Play the music.
M. Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Michael Lucas, swanning in from the set of 5 Bedrooms. I just received a phone call from my daughter who was in the car with Cat Stewart and Roger Corser on speaker.
Australian television royalty.
They were like, hey. And I said to Jella, who's that? She said, oh, it's Cat and Roger. Like, oh, is that just Cat and Roger, your besties? Look at her go, Cat and Roger. She's so loved. She's beloved on the set. How's it going? Is it going well? Less stressful than the newsreader, obviously.
Well, it's fourth season and it's not a period show, and those two things are delightful.
Yeah, true.
Bunch of people in a house, it's comedy, and also the borders aren't shutting on us left, right, and centre. That too is just absolute. I never thought I'd hit the stage where I was just grateful for open borders, but I am. I really am, and I
just nodded and smiled because I agreed with you.
Yeah, totally. Because it's like, we want to bring back that supporting character, and we just can. We just book a flight and we bring them back.
Just a little Virgin Jetstar situation.
Yeah.
Not having to get a QC to write an appeal to the
Totally.
National Health.
Having said
like
that, though, there's still some hassles flying in between states. It is not cheap or reliable.
I
at the
know.
moment. It's wild.
It's wild. Speaking of wild.
Oh,
Thank you.
that was a beautiful segue.
Lena Dunham is at it again. Just when you thought maybe. And should we run through some Lena Dunham's greatest hits?
Oh,
shall we?
goodness.
Now, of course, we know her as the writer and creator of Girls,
A television classic.
television classic.
I think that I may be the voice of my generation.
That
Although-
she created and directed and wrote and everything when she was very young.
And now, as you look back, was it a fictional character or the first reality TV doco hybrid? Because it has become increasingly difficult to separate
Hannah
and Lena in real life, I must say. You may also remember her from her essay about her failed IVF treatments, where she detailed that she gave up on motherhood at 34 and she had a hysterectomy and decided to be, a childless woman and join that community. But she wrote an essay that pissed a lot of people off within the IVF community because she spoke about, in the essay, I think probably thinking she was being super self-aware, but described scrolling through adoption catalogues like shopping at a furniture outlet.
Oh.
Yeah. And she talked about how when she would go into IVF waiting rooms that the women there described themselves as IVF warriors, and she was quite condescending, and they do consider themselves warriors. And to be honest, the things that women going through IVF have to go through, they should call themselves warriors. And she also described the experience like it was only one that happened to privileged white women, that infertility was only something that happened kind of to someone like her. And as Lena tends to do, she writes about experiences in the singularly, like the way it happens to her is the way it happens for everybody. So she decided to leave that community, wrote this essay, and all the IVF women, and there's a whole online community of these people who are going through IVF. There's also a whole online community of childless women. And that's what they call themselves. Said, well, you're not our voice and you've left our community and you've decided to not have kids and now that's your parting shot because you're bitter. So there was that. She also outed her sister
Oh, my God.
publicly. She returned a dog that she got from a shelter to the shelter, inventing an entire backstory around its violent past. The dog had no such past. And her autobiography was pretty grim. And she also compared Bill Cosby to the Holocaust.
Oh,
so
my God.
Lena's had a big
Oh, my God.
few years, but...
Look, in her defence...
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yep.
Well, let's not forget that she was a really talented writer, director, performer. She was also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and she was the setup director for that amazing British show Industry, which she directed without writing or starring in. And so I don't know. I just think it is worth acknowledging that she is a very talented person, and that doesn't take away from all the problematic things. But it's not like she's famous for making controversial things. She's famous for her work initially, and then
Not anymore, though, because Marcella and
Industry's
that
just in the second
generation
season.
only really know her for all the gaffes, because that's what gets written about in the left press.
Has Chella seen Girls?
No, she can't stand the character of Hannah. She tried.
Isn't it kind of ironic that from Girls, if you had to say who the breakout superstar was, it was the boy?
You love yourself so much, so why is it so crazy that someone else would too?
Says
So
a
true.
lot, doesn't
Adam
it?
Driver.
He is the king of the world. He's on campaigns.
And Donald Glover.
Oh, yeah.
He was also in Girls when she was criticised for not having any actors of colour on the show, and then she made the only actor of colour a Republican, if you'll remember. So she was really endearing herself to people left, right,
I suppose
and
that Zosia Mamet has done okay. She's popped up a few places.
yeah. So today Lena tweeted, "When I go, I want my casket to be driven through the New York City Pride Parade with a plaque that reads, 'She wasn't for everyone, but she was for us. Who can arrange it?'" And the queer community have united in Twitter to say, "No, thank you, please." Because Lena is learning, as I learned in primary school, you can't give yourself a nickname. I wanted everyone to call me Jet because I was a fast runner. And you cannot.
That is, can I just say, your decision to call your autobiography Try Hard has never made more sense.
My name's Jet Russiano. No, it's not. It's not. It is. Call me Jet. It's Jet. And my teachers would call the role Emilia Russiano. And I'd sit there quietly. Emmy, it's Jet. And everyone's like, no, it's not.
Wow.
Yeah. She has learned, as I learned, that you cannot declare yourself a gay icon either. That is something that must be bestowed upon you by the community.
To get your casket taken on Gay Pride, it's pretty much reserved for like the status of Bette Midler, Cher. I mean, they could do it.
Maybe. Even then.
Yeah.
Cis white het women, you know?
Well.
Even then. But yes, that would make more sense. But I don't think any of them would ever tweet that. Because once you are named by the queer community as a gay icon, like, it's yours to lose.
I suppose I found it slightly baffling because, I just never knew that anyone, including her, put her in that category of being... Why?
I haven't heard any of my gay friends
I've
use
never
this
heard
phrase.
this from any gay person. No.
I don't know. It's just wild. Here were some of the reactions to Lena's tweets online. This was from Eric Schwartzu. Going as Lena Dunham in a casket being driven through New York Pride Parade with a plaque that reads, "She wasn't for everyone, but she was for us for Halloween."
That is good.
I know.
Can I just say Andrew Rannells from Girls also became a star? It is literally that all the boys became stars. Sorry, anyway, as you were.
This is from Hugh Lemmy. "We do not assert ownership. Arrangements for the safe disposal of Lena Dunham in accordance with state and federal laws remains the responsibilities of the heterosexual community." Yours sincerely, the gays. Oh, and they were the only nice ones I could find. They were the nice ones. You don't understand.
You read a real bad one.
No, I'm not doing that because a lot of them were about her weight and we do not condone that. So, I'm just upset because there's in a couple days, her new TV show is coming out. It's called Catherine Cold Birdie.
Where is the Lady Catherine? I've come here to propose marriage.
A man has come and asked for me by name. You cannot mean Our Lady Catherine. She's a vile creature.
Some say she has a third ear.
She does.
Have you seen this third ear?
I've seen it.
Where?
Back of her neck.
Is it functional?
Spare.
And it looks so good because it is a medieval coming-of-age story.
Oh, what a genre for you.
Hello? Can you think?
Yeah, but I mean, you would also like a bit of magic stirred in. Is this set in the real world?
Yeah, it's in England.
No, you'd be happy with that.
No, it's fine. And it's the girl she's from Game of Thrones. She's from a bunch of things. She's the young warrior who's in everything at the moment. She's also in Becoming Elizabeth. I've just watched her in that. So she's there, and it looks. And her father is Hot Priest from Fleabag.
Oh, you are joking.
So you're a cool priest, are you?
A cool priest?
Yeah.
No, I'm a big reader with no friends. Are you a cool person?
Oh, I'm a pretty normal person.
A normal person?
Yeah, a normal person.
What makes you a normal person?
Well, I don't believe in God.
Russell Brand's in it. But I've watched all the previews and I laughed my ass off. It looks hysterical. It looks so fun. It's like Monty Python, meets Adrian Mole's Secret Diaries of, like, set in the Anne Boleyn times. It looks so good. And now I'm still going to watch it.
Of course.
But it's interesting that she's done this just a couple days out from she wrote this and she directed it, and it's an Amazon movie. It's an Amazon series. No, it's a movie. It's a movie. And this is what, she was nearly there.
I know.
She nearly made it. And do you imagine she was typing the tweet and just thinking, this is going to be fucking delightful. Do you think she thought in her wildest dream she'll be trending worldwide? Because today on Twitter, it was a crazy day. Let me tell you what was trending. Slutty gay vampires, Nicki versus Cardi, Billy Eichner versus heteros, and Lena Dunham versus Pride.
What a day. A red letter day. No. But then again, maybe it's a case of all attention, all publicity is good publicity. Maybe it doesn't matter. Look at Don't Worry, Darling, #1 at the box office.
I can't believe it. Yes, doesn't Billy Eichner know that?
Your transitions are on fire at the moment.
Pretty good. Yes, Bros has come out in the States and flopped.
We need to get people to rethink history through a queer prism, not comfort them with another gay wedding, all right? It's a museum. It's not Schitt's Creek.
Oh, I like Schitt's Creek.
I love Schitt's Creek. That show has layers.
Can I just admit something to you? For the longest time, I thought it was called Bros, and I thought it might have something to do with the 80s band. I really did. I'm sorry. Did anyone else make that mistake?
No.
I really did.
Hi, gay.
How was I supposed to?
Outgayed a gay rom-com.
Well, I was just thinking, I hope they license When Will I Be Famous? I can't answer. I can't answer that. Maybe that would have done better.
What was another one of their songs?
Was there
Drop
another one?
Drop the boy. Remember they used to make that noise? I'm the man. Yes, I am. That was 2 songs.
Okay.
There was another song of theirs.
Was there?
There must have been. Look it up. Live Google. What were the Bros hits? I'm sure there was a third.
Okay.
Drop the Boy. When Will I Be Famous? And there was another one. I can see them so clearly.
Cat Among Pigeons. I Quit. I Owe You Nothing. Too Much.
I owe you nothing. Oh, nothing at all. I quit. All their songs sound the same.
Right. Okay.
I would froth a brosumentary. I was trying to say bros and documentary in one word. A brosumentary.
No, it makes sense.
I would froth that. God, that would be good. Oh!
Well, they've just made the Weird Al Yankovic telemovie. Why not Bros?
Well, they've made a Milli Vanilli one too.
Of course.
True. Is there a brosumentary? Ben's shouting out there's a brosumentary.
I one with them, it's a fucking hectic watch. You would love it.
With actual bros?
With the 2 bros, the twins, yeah.
Acting as themselves. It's a documentary.
No, well, it's a documentary just telling their lives, and it is offhand.
I mean, I have so much to do, but we all know what I'm doing tonight. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, while we're talking about this, I can't remember. Oh, Billy Eichner, Bros. Bros movie came out. It's, 51st Dates, but with gay men, basically. That's the premise of the movie.
51st Date?
51st Dates.
Oh,
but with gay guys.
Yeah, okay.
And
That's about a woman with amnesia, isn't it? I think it's just more of your When Harry Met Sally, but queer. But
I feel like he goes through a lot of different dudes to try and find the right one. I haven't seen it.
No, isn't it about 2 commitment phobes? This is part of the problem. The trailers didn't make it clear enough what it was.
No,
it just sort of said, it's about the gays.
And that's the thing, and this is the problem. So it's bombed. It cost $23 million to make, by the way. I'm surprised Billy Eichner was able to get that money from a major studio because I don't think of him as a leading man. Not because he's gay. It's just not the first person that comes to my mind when I think I'm going
Yeah.
to sing $23 million into
I think
a
of Billy
film.
on the street.
Hey guys, it's Billy Eichner, and this is Funny or Die's Billy on the Street, a music and pop culture game show.
And then I think of Timon.
You'll be his little mess. He's gonna eat you and then use my body as a toothpick.
Yes. I think of terrible people.
But also, oh yeah,
Difficult
great.
people?
I love him.
Oh, I love him too. But he has come out swinging, blaming straight people for his film's demise. And then again, the queer community have said, actually, no, it's because you marketed the film to straight people. And then you made gay people feel like guilty if they didn't want to see it. So you said to straight people, it's safe. And you said to gay people, you have to see it. It's important. This is what needs to happen. And so he tried to be everything to everyone and ended up being nothing to anybody. So he's very upset and he's called everyone homophobic and that's just what happened. And he's shouting at people in capital letters and telling the gay community not to let him down. And it's been, between Billy and Lena, it's been a really heavy
But the film
day.
has got really good reviews.
Yes, and he said that many times over.
Yes.
But he feels like...
I would say romantic comedy more than any other genre is incredibly star-driven.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at the moment, Australia is the first country to get Ticket to Paradise with Julia Roberts and George Clooney because that was shot here. So they released it here early and it's been doing really well. And earlier this year was, of course, The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum, which also did really well.
I've not heard of either of these films.
What do you mean? You don't remember The Lost City? No. That was the one where she got the leeches off his ass.
Ah, what is that? Get it off. Please. I can feel him sucking my soul. River like a bandit. Move on me. That's how it feels like there's more.
Holy Mother of God.
It's just sucking on my butt like a big old Jamba Juice.
No, I don't think I've ever seen it.
It was kind of like a Romancing the Stone.
Leeches off his ass?
Yeah.
No. Channing Tatum and who?
Sandra Bullock.
What? Sandra?
What is going on?
I've never heard it. Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum
Are
made
you
a
being
role?
serious?
I've never seen it. When? What year?
This year.
No. What?
Brad Pitt was in it too.
What? Why is this the first I'm hearing of this?
I'm just feeling like I feel like we did something about this on the podcast.
No, I cannot be the... What's it called?
The Lost City.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it in my life.
Well, it made $105 million domestic in the United States. Yes, did very well.
Wow.
So people still showed up for Sandy, and you might say it's because, it's a straight story, but it's also that they're really big stars. And you are right. Like, Billy Eichner, I don't think... Like, my mum wouldn't know who he is.
Rom-coms are a tough sell.
If you did want to do a gay rom-com with the superstar, who's the gay superstar that everyone knows? There's the Catch-22.
Yeah, it is hard. Harry?
Shut up. I want to be baited. Well, that's it. You end up casting a famous straight person to play the gay, but then that's deliberately what he decided not to do because he wanted every major part to be played by a queer actor, even the straight parts.
Yes. But the posters were all very benign and it was just hands on bums in jeans.
The posters, I must admit, were a little bit, tricky because normally your classic rom-com poster does present the stars. These are the two stars that you see.
It was just asses. It was just bums with hands on them. Two men linking arms or with a hand on each other's cheek.
I mean, maybe it'll become a word-of-mouth hit and sit there for ages and slowly rack it up and be successful.
No, it'll be huge on the streamers. But what they should have done is just marketed it to the gay community. It's flirty. It's fun. It's us. Come and, it doesn't have to be heavy or traumatic. But what they've done is, they've tried to make it really, clean and squeaky for straight people. It's fine. You'll be okay. You can watch it. And then to gay people, it's become like this, the burden of, well, if you don't support this, we won't get any more films for queer cinema. So I just think they did it in the wrong way. I think know your market and go hard in on it. It's not like there aren't enough gay people in the world to make people money.
Oh.
Hello?
I know. Exactly. Look at...
Ask newly minted gay icon Lena Dunham.
I don't think a straight dollar has gone to Madonna's career in a solid 20
Dolly
years
Parton,
at this point.
Bette Midler, Cher, Madonna, Kylie Minogue. Because the gays won't come out and spend money, Billy. It was a strange choice.
M. Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
I had a spiritual encounter with an echidna today that I want to tell you about.
Okay.
Okay. So I've since my dog died, I'm fragile. I'm just going to put it out there. And I've not been having an easy time of it. And also, I'm hypersensitive, rejection, dysphoria, blah, 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 all that stuff. I'm very sensitive. I'm very sensitive is the headline. And I've been doing a lot of like that internal digging, like trying to pathologize myself and what do I need to do so that my thoughts aren't so sticky and blah, blah, blah. And I had a really, really bad day yesterday. And then today, an echidna, a literal echidna, Michael. Where's my phone, Ben? Have you got your phone there? Can you get up my Instagram? A literal echidna showed up at my doorstep.
Wow.
Have a look. Echidna update. It's come right up to the house. The dogs are losing their minds.
Brave
And
echidna.
honestly,
There
not
to deliver a
fazed by
message.
us at all. Yes. And then, once her and I had interacted, up the driveway, she went.
She's a very limber echidna.
Oh, my God. She was jumping off things. They are like dogs. So
Oh, what does it mean
I
when you
start
see
getting messages saying, Em, this is a message. This is a message. The echidna gives you the tools and power to not only look beneath the surface, but tunnel deeply into your problems and thoughts and find nourishment from what you find there. So I'm like, oh my God, this is like a sign that the stuff I've been doing, like it's you're okay, it's all good. And I'm feeling great. I'm getting these messages from people saying, this is what it means. And then I started getting echidna dick pics.
This is a very unusual sight.
Hundreds of them. I just didn't think I'd wake up today. And I'm going to show you a picture of an echidna dick. Because there is a reason. I'm going to show you a picture of an echidna dick, right?
Okay.
Because
I'm just imagining it's going to look like a spike.
what do you imagine? What are you imagining?
That's what I imagine, a brown spike.
Describe it. Describe an echidna penis before you see one. Go.
I'm imagining some sort of brown spike. That's what I'm imagining.
What's it made of? Like a fleshy brown spike?
Yeah, fleshy, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's brown?
That's the colour that I go for. Unless it's like when a dog gets very excited and it's bright pink or something.
Yes.
So fluoro pink. Well, now I'm thinking, because you're not exactly poker faced in this situation.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking it's more your canine one where a very bright sort of glowing fluorescent thing pops out.
Yes. It's interesting you say.
Can I just say, you're going to show me an echidna dick engorged? An echidna, or are you showing me?
What are you writing, an 1800 romance novel?
Well, you're the one that's saying it's a spiritual sign.
Well, I was having a moment with my glorious echidna until my community online started sending me fucking
porn
dick pics.
Well, that's all right.
You ready?
Yep.
James, are you on his face?
What is... Oh! Hang on.
Foreheads. It's a four-headed peen.
Hang on.
Yeah. Echidnas have one main arm and then it branches off into four heads. Now, I went and read about the echidna dick.
It honestly looks like the monster from Pan's Labyrinth. and do you know what I'm talking about? Because, wait a minute. I'm gonna pull it up. Wait.
Yeah, he's getting it up. Pan's Labyrinth. Okay, show me. Maybe that's what they based it on. Could be.
That's what it looks like.
No, it doesn't. It looks like an octopus. So, an echidna dick
Makes me want to see what an echidna vagina looks like.
has four heads on it, right?
Yeah.
Now, only two work at one given time, so that if it's in competition with another male, it can pump, 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 ejaculate, recover, this side, pump, 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 ejaculate, recover. So it can just continuously pork lady echidnas.
Jesus.
And they don't wee out of it. No piss comes out of any of the four heads of an echidna wang. So call me fucking Lady David Attenborough.
Yeah, totally.
So my days started with kinds of weird breakdowns. An echidna visited me, and now I know all about their dicks.
I don't think this negates the spiritual experience you had. In fact, if anything, I think it just adds a certain richness to what you've experienced.
And also, good for those lady echidnas. Fucking well
They can
done.
go all night.
Mate, well done, bitches. No wonder they're happy-go-lucky creatures that jump off things and trot around like dogs. They're getting 4 dicks up them. You'd
Really?
be happy too. And do you think that they like constantly like? I just feel like echidnas are wanting to please. You know, they're so lovely and so.
Oh, I've gone early. Don't worry. 3 more to go.
No, only 2 at a time.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It doesn't go blip 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 blip
Okay.
blip. It doesn't go like that.
Yeah.
It's these 2 rest. Okay, guys, you're up. These 2 rest. Okay, guys, you're up. They split between and. There's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't mean it. Maybe left dicks started. Left dicks doesn't mean that next time right dicks will start. Could be. It doesn't know. We don't know who decides which side of the dick will go. It's one of nature's mysteries.
Really?
Yes.
That's exciting.
They're trying to. It's one of the most studied cocks in the animal kingdom, and the one they know the least about.
Really?
There are entire units dedicated to porcupine penis.
Wow.
I
Hang
know,
on.
echidna.
Echidna,
But it
yeah.
didn't, there wasn't the same alliteration.
okay, sure.
So, yeah, go with me. Yeah, you would be amazed how many articles there are on it. And it's like, because they're kind of protected, you can't exactly flip on over and have a look, you know. So they got to wait till one dies and they can dissect it.
Oh, God.
I know. And like, no, they haven't actually seen it go in and do its job.
Haven't they?
No.
Oh, wow.
I know.
So there needs to be some, yeah.
Michael has not put the phone down since looking at it.
It's quite a disturbing image, I would say. I don't know why I find it
when
disturbing.
I opened the first echidna dick pic that I received of hundreds, I dropped the phone.
I don't look at it and have your reaction, which was lucky lady echidna.
No, I had to like get there in the end.
Okay,
I mean, I didn't. At first, it was like it looks like pastrami's been left out in the sun, like or like one of those little pig in a blankets. You know, like it's not good. And then when you start intellectualizing and you read the papers and you find out like how effective
Do
it
echidnas
is.
mate for life? Because, 2 decades in, it'd be like the woman's disinterested in 4 penises instead of 1.
If he puts those dicks anywhere near me again, I'll tell you, Beryl, I've fucking had it with those dicks.
Oh, Chella's just wandered into the room.
Hi, babes.
Hi.
We're just talking about echidna dicks.
Great.
Do you want to see one?
Sure. Oh. Oh,
What
it's
do you
like a turkey foot,
Turkey foot.
but
Okay.
a swollen turkey foot.
Yeah, there's 4 penis heads there, but only 2 at a time as people
Do vagina
talking to the microphone.
Do female echidnas have 4 vaginas?
No, just 1. Yep. But interestingly, I learned in my research today that they grow their own pouches momentarily for their eggs to sit in. It's just a temporary pouch. I'm
Your
an
mother's
expert.
forged a real...
I'm a hyperfixation. Because one came and visited the house. I sent you a...
I saw. I'm across the echidna. It's pretty much all that was on my phone today.
She's all... I just look forward to, by popular demand, the National Press Club welcomes back Anne Rusciano, and she just sits there and goes, echidnas!
And instead of the dancing vaginas, vulvas behind me, it'll just be 4...
And you go, Lara Tingle, what do you think of when you picture an echidna's penis?
And Rusciano is showing...
Describe it.
I didn't mean to derail it with echidna dicks, but here we are.
No. This is the closest to a nature documentary edition of the podcast we've ever had.
What I do want to talk about is slutty gay vampires.
Was it really trending, slutty gay vampires?
No, a few people wrote it and I liked it. No,
Okay.
Interview with the Vampire was definitely trending,
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Yes.
But I inhaled the first 2 episodes.
I knew that Em was going to enjoy it.
Oh my God. So you watched it before me?
Yeah. I was
And-
counting down.
Oh, you were so excited.
I was.
You really were. And obviously Interview with the Vampire came out in, what's it, 94?
Yeah.
Starring Tom Cruise, and it was a massive departure for him because he was coming off big bro films, you know,
Yeah.
like Top
Yeah.
Gun and all the
And Anne Rice, the author, initially hated his casting.
did not want him in it.
Later published a letter of apology.
Yeah, because I'll never forget the final scene. Sympathy for the Devil comes on, and he's. I just remember getting a thrill, like just going,
I enjoyed it at the time.
yeah.
But I watched it without realising that there was any gay anything. It was only when I read the books that I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so Interview with the Vampire, the book, Anne Rice, of course, and this, she wrote it. This adaptation fucking nails it. It's better than the film. It's so great. Okay, so now what we all need to bear in mind is it stars Jacob Anderson, a.k.a. Grey Worm from Game of Thrones, and Sam Reid, a.k.a. Dale Jennings from the Newsreader.
So I remember when he got it. It was a very thrilling moment, / scary for us, because I thought, will we ever get him back for a season 2? But we did. He stayed loyal.
Yeah.
But it was incredibly exciting.
Oh, my God. So Sam plays Lestat, the Tom Cruise role that we were just speaking about.
That's right. I would say the showiest role. I mean, Louis is a great role too, and that guy is magnificent.
And Jacob will get all the awards.
Oh, it's a brilliant.
It's an award role. It's incredible. It's in the way he plays it.
If I were them, I'd put him up for Best Actor and Sam up for supporting.
For sure. So what are your initial, before I get to the little drink?
My initial things were, I was a fan of the books.
Yes.
And I loved the way they adapted it. They changed things in the best possible way. It totally had the spirit of the books completely. But the updates were really good. So Jacob Anderson plays Louis as a Creole man, but it really was well thought through and really added to the story, added to the tension between him and Lestat.
Because I read lots of interviews of Jacob, and initially he was concerned, it was colourblind casting, it was tokenism, and where they're going to put into context what a black man in the early 1800s, which is when this was set, 1900s would be going through in Louisiana at that time, and he was really worried about it, but was so relieved that they contextualised what it would be.
So good.
And they have done that.
Brilliantly.
In a beautiful way. And even the way, we won't give too much away, but just the way they illustrate how Lestat and Louis have to, keep up appearances of what was going on between black men and, black people and white people at that time is just, it's kind of heartbreaking, when they go to the opera and he...
And then in addition to that, they do all sorts of things like it's set in the pandemic and the interview that's being given is a second contemporary interview going back and correcting the record, which again was a surprising choice, but I loved it. It worked so well. In Dubai.
In a penthouse.
Yeah.
Like the most amazing apartment.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And they sit down to a dinner in episode 2 and the course it's a 7-course meal and it's just incredible the way it plays out. I love it so much. And I just also... The thing is they've maintained is, if you remember reading the book, it's just fucking sad. It's the most sad, miserable, melancholy literary experience because she wrote it just after her daughter died. And it's an exploration of grief. No matter how you roll the dice, whether they're dead or alive in the book, everyone is burrowing down on their grief. And so this show, even Sam's eyes are so...
aching.
Lestat, he just looks down the camera and he's got that he just seems so sad, but also so amazing.
But also the other thing is that the books in Spirit were very queer, and it was not at all a mystery.
She didn't mean it to be, by the way.
That Louis and Lestat were on, and the movie certainly, if you can watch that whole movie and just sort of think there's a bit of tension between Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, but they certainly no funny business.
No,
they've gone a different direction in this one.
Oh my God. There is funny business and then some. There is so much man-on-man vampire slapping against each other. I love it. I love it so much. And there's a scene where they sleep side by side in coffins.
I don't like sleeping angry.
I don't want to go to bed angry.
Oh, that was the best line. And he delivered it so well.
I hate to go to bed angry. Does Sam speak fluent French before this? Or did he learn?
Yeah, I certainly know and can attest that he did an enormous amount of preparation. And I know that getting the accent right was a huge
he nailed it.
Thing for him because it's more than a French actor, and he had to sort of place it French, but then they've been living in America, but then he has to evolve it over time periods as well. So it was a hell of a lot of work for him. And in addition to that,
he rolls into French, but no flawless French.
He does.
Je suis désolé. Je m'amuse trop en privé.
And he also plays the piano. Yeah. And he sings at some point, which he's also very good at. I know, it's insufferable. He's really good at it.
Really good. But what he did do, though, is bitch got buff. So we see him nude many times. No pain.
Oh, God.
But but clear torso. He's and he's ripped. There's not an ounce of fat on that man's body. Like the regime Sam must have been keeping up to stay that fit.
Hungry.
Nuts.
Hungry.
Well, he looked hungry. But there's this one scene entitled The Little Drink that blew my mind, that I watched them do an interview about, as Sam and Jacob awkwardly spoke about this scene together. And it was kind of endearing watching them talk about it. So the scene is... I know he's your colleague and you're respectful and everything, but I'm going to talk about it, okay? What are you comfortable contributing?
Michael has left the chat.
What are you comfortable contributing to this moment? This moment's been brought up all online, by the way.
Facial expressions that we'll cut to in videos.
I'm not the only person to talk about this scene. He's backing up his headphones. Look at him. What? It's an incredible scene. Can I show Marcella the scene so she knows what I'm talking about?
Have you not watched it yet?
No,
I'll just show her a
go home
picture.
and watch some
I'll just show you a picture of what I'm talking about.
Is it a porno?
Amazing.
Oh my God, are they levitating?
Yes! They're levitating. It's so good. Right? I just feel like, okay, fine, I won't talk about it with you, but there is this... there is some lovemaking that goes on between the two leads, between Lestat and Louis, that is so euphoric. They leave the ground and both actors are butt naked and... it's beautifully lit and they're just floating there. And I've never seen lovemaking depicted in such a way. It's beautiful. It's like a...
Was there a bit of it in Witches of Eastwick? I feel like there was some levitating. I do. I feel like there might have been some.
I don't know, but this one just... all of a sudden they're leaving the ground and the camera's shooting their feet and they're in the most stunning room. Like it is the beautiful set. And the music's like, it's all very gentle and lovely. And then all of a sudden the camera pans back and you're like, oh, they're floating and they're nude. It's just like, I just was startled by, but then it was so normal. Of course they are. Of course, when vampires are having sex and they're hot and they come off the ground like that and they fit together like the pieces of a stunning puzzle and there's just shots coming off beautifully sculpted asses and pecs and biceps and Sam's hair's glistening and the whole shot is stunning. And then I heard them talk about it like this.
The mechanics of it was quite
very unromantic.
They built actually, I don't think we should tell this story.
What about the seesaw?
Yeah, okay, we've done it now. They built a seesaw, basically, that, like, four sweaty dudes were, like, pushing down on the other side while we were being lifted up. And we had special bicycle seats that we sat naked on.
Oh, right, the naked bicycle seats.
Yeah,
but
we
did it together. I feel like we got through it together.
Yeah, we were just holding on to each other for dear life, really.
And the sweaty blokes on the seesaws really took away from the magic.
For me, it added to it.
Well, it's beautiful. I think it's one of my all-time favourite love scenes now. I mean, I really do. And Sam's transformation into Lestat from Dale is nothing short of extraordinary for me.
He's so great. He's
There's not getting enough.
He's
it's not
so
getting enough buzz in
elegant.
Australia. Like, I want to shout this in the rooftops. Like, everybody needs to watch this.
Well, I think it's a little bit hard in Australia because AMC as a streaming service is only new here.
Yeah.
And not many people have it. So I think it's a little bit inaccessible, the show.
So you just go to Amazon and then you can get a free trial and watch the first 2 episodes.
But they are doing weekly drops. So
Yeah.
maybe if you get your free trial, you want to wait till there's a few more episodes if you want to do it that way.
That's a good idea. There's 7 eps to watch.
Yeah, and this is a whole universe. So he'll potentially be doing series as Lestat. But it is really exciting because Lestat is an all-time classic literary character. He's a great character and full respect to Tom Cruise, but it doesn't feel like Lestat's had the great screen performance that Lestat deserves, but Sam's giving it for sure.
Oh.
And he flips the switch. He can be playful and he can be cheeky and he can be seductive, then he can be terrifying in an absolute instant. And he does it so confidently and it's wild.
Talk about, and I watched it today, there's a video going around of him getting into character.
You've really done a deep dive. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. There is, and he does a, yeah.
You have to describe it.
He sort of flays his arms in an elegant, like a conductor, I would say.
Should we call them rainbow wrists?
Sure.
He does a flick of the wrist just as they're about to, and it's just the most glorious, like he gets the assignment. He fucking gets it.
I know, it was electrifying.
Oh my
wasn't it?
God, I saw it. I was like, yes. And I just think about the day I was on set with him in the newsreader, and he did appear like he'd become Lestat. Like he was much more elegant. He was almost ethereal, translucent.
Yeah.
And now I understand why. Because it's nuts how good he is in this. And also how good everyone is. It's fucking great.
I know, it's really good.
It's so exciting to sit down and watch something that you're not... I was worried.
Yeah.
And then...
You just feel like you're in such safe hands. And it also, I just love that it just sweeps you away.
Oh.
It made me realise how much I love something that's in a flashback structure. Like, I mean, it's pathetic, but that's what Titanic was. And that's what this is. Like when someone starts telling a story and then we get taken back to this time.
And the narrator's in and out.
Yeah.
It's so great. So look...
And New Orleans in the early 1900s. Oh, what a great,
Beautiful.
rich place to be.
And Storyville, where they are, was the red light district there, and historically not really covered, but it was a district rich in stories, and you know, like obviously it was where the wealthy went to be debaucherous. But you don't hear much about Storyville in New Orleans around that time.
And elements of the book as well, like Louis's brother, who is what happens to him becomes an impetus, you know, behind him deciding to become a vampire or submitting to becoming a vampire. And that was just teased out. It was really emotional and we really felt it. And I think they've just done such a good job.
And I noticed little things that Twilight stole. You know the bit...
Oh, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Chella, you know the bit in Twilight, Chella enters the chat. You know where Bella and Edward are sitting at their first date in that restaurant?
Yeah.
And what are they talking about? What do they talk about at the restaurant? Pop quiz, hotshot.
Cats, sex, money, sex.
What are people thinking about?
Yeah.
Well, that's what Lestat and Louis have that conversation.
Do they have the same powers?
Yes. No, but all vampires can hear thoughts.
No, not in Twilight. If we're using that as the model.
I don't think Stephenie Meyer's exactly followed the traditional vampire history of their powers.
Well, I was going to say before, I was like... because I've researched this before, how do vampires get erections? Because they don't have blood.
I would say it's full circle.
So we're back at... So what led you to the Google history? We must be on every watch list in Australia.
You've never, to me, sounded more like your mother's daughter than you do right now.
So why were you Googling if vampires get erections or not? Are there vampire pork echidnas?
What? Poor kidness.
We've really gone somewhere.
Also, I also was researching duck penises too.
Aren't they hooks?
There's corkscrews.
Yeah. Can I get you?
And like Odie and I saw two ducks having sex at the river, and it was quite traumatic because they like pin their head down and they like sit on top of.
Yeah, weirdest animal penises I've just Googled. Echidnas, dolphins. The flatworm engages in penis fights. Blue whales have the largest penis in the animal kingdoms, around 8 to 10 feet.
Huge.
Jesus Christ. And barnacles have penises nearly 8 times their body length. So what was, in the end, how do vampires get erections?
Because they don't have blood, but they have some other, like, cells. Like, it's not blood. They have some other...
How do vampires get...
Stephenie Meyer's wrote a...
she did. Vampires have blood, which is what's used to fill...
No. The Stephenie Meyer's one's better. They don't have blood, but they have different cells that make up...
How does... The number one thing Googled, how does Edward get hard if he's a vampire?
Yeah.
You better hold on tight, spider monkey.
Okay, here we go. The normal reactions of arousal are still present in vampires, made possible by venom-related fluids that cause tissues to react similarly as they do to an influx of blood.
Yeah.
It's only very recently to me, as I think it happened on this podcast, that I realised that the fangs don't operate as straws, that they just puncture and then the blood goes into the mouth. I thought it was like the fangs had holes and they puncture and then they suck it up through the fangs. That's what I thought.
So what was inside the fang?
Life. Like it's just like
straws.
It's like they're straws. They're little holes. Like that's what I thought.
That would be a much cleaner process.
I like
just straight up, yeah. But they make it very, very clear in Intuitive Vampire.
How much fake blood did they use?
Clearly quite a lot,
Jesus, the cleanup on that set, that's what I was thinking about. So much blood. My God, what's fake blood? What do they use for fake blood? Is there still...
I don't know. Not many of the shows that I've worked on have required
Can you just write a vampire show once?
Something fantasy.
It's true that I haven't written anything fantastical yet.
time.
Okay. All right. Well, Chella's only contribution was vampire dicks, and that feels on brand.
Yep.
Michael is horrified and will not be sleeping, and I'll be getting several texts about what needs to be edited out of that chat.
Totally.
I feel good. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
So your gaff again.
Your what?
My gaff.
Ah.
My tooth gap.
Yeah.
Shut up. Goodbye.
Bye.
It's all right. You really have to go quite far back to see it.
Oh, thank you.
This is Emsolation.
All right. Well, that's it. Thank you for being here. Hey, if you're a hectic level patron of the podcast, you're about to hear your name read out. So make sure you listen right through. Ben Wasley, the silky tones of Ben Wasley, our executive producer. We wanted to say thank you so much for your commitment. So you're going to be hearing your names very shortly. If you'd like to become a patron of the pod, you want to kick in a bit extra because you love us and you want to see us develop and grow, you can find all that information at our Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. You can also shout us a coffee. If a monthly commitment is a bit much for you, we get it. So you can just shout the podcast a coffee, and that money is going toward building the TV studio because, of course, that's what we're doing. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to recommend us to a friend. That is how we grow our incredible, devoted community. You are the best advertisement for us. So if you love this episode in particular, or there's one that you think someone else would like, just copy and paste it into a text and send it their way. And I'd love to hear if you've converted someone. Let me know. I love to know that we've won someone else over to the dark side. Have a fantastic weekend. And like I said, Tuesday, listen out for the chat between Will Anderson and I in Free Time Tuesday. Bye, gang.
Emsolation with Em Rossiano is a Spotify exclusive podcast recorded at Down the Hill Studios, hosted by Em Rossiano with Michael Lucas and sometimes her eldest daughter, Marcella. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley, produced by Em Rossiano, edited by Ezekiel Fenn, with videos by James Henderson, socials by Marcella Rossiano Barrow, with assistance from Jem Evans, plus cameos from Em's dad Vincy. Get the full Emsolation experience by following us on Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. You can also sign up for our weekly newsletter. Join other Emsolators at the Emsolation group on Facebook. The answer is Harry Styles. If you really want to help us out, you could become a patron of Emsolation. Share this podcast with a friend. Give us a 5-star rating and make sure you're following us on the Spotify app by hitting the follow button. We'd also like to thank our very special Hectic Emsolators for their support through Patreon, including Angela Jenkins, Ashton, Cassie Jackson, Cindy Harrison, Demi Hines, Elizabeth Bennett Dennison, Jackie Wood, Jess, Jody, Catherine, Kimberly, Christy Hunt, Leash Taylor, Lisa McDonald, Liz Pike, Lauren Bland-Smith, Mel, Norell O'Brien, Natika Hoyle, Penny Northey, and Steph Gavioli. You can join them at patreon.com/Emsolation or send us some love via buymeacoffee.com/Emsolation. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.